Hi, my name is Rebecca Lovelace. I am the founder of Building People. I took the job title Chief Dot Joiner as a little bit of a joke, a bit tongue-in-cheek, because my point is we don't need to create anything new. We just need to join the dots between what already exists. So I'm going to talk you through Building People and really looking forward to taking questions at the end of the session. Now, where I'm going to start is really just a bit of context. Please don't take the slide seriously. This slide was created back in 2017 and the lovely designer that created it for us said that he was going to bill extra for new glasses and also for psychotherapy because as a designer he was not happy with what looks like an absolute mess. So the context is actually it is all hugely fragmented. What the diagram is really just showing is there is a lot of activity taking place within the career space, within the diversity space across the built environment. And these very fragmented activities do not enable collaboration. They don't support the activities that are really supposed to be driving individuals to access and sustain in careers in this amazing industry of ours. Lots of people doing lots of things, not particularly efficient, certainly costly. A lot of these activities are short term. So the context of Building People, the context that I'm talking about is a focus on people, a focus on careers and skills, and a focus on diversity, crucially diversity in the industry and social impact. So this is the context, and a bit more about the context is really just explaining that we're ever so good about talking, very good at talking about the problems. And we're also really good at delivering solutions. But just to explain a little bit more, a wonderful colleague, Terry Watts, who's CEO of the Chartered Surveyors Training Trust, pointed out that since the 1930s, we just have been writing reports. Every 5 to 7 years, reports are written about the problems. And I've just listed a few from 1934 to 1994. And in 1994, there's a really clear statement from the author describing our industry as ineffective, adversarial, fragmented, and incapable of delivering for its customers. Lots of talking. And one of the most recent reports, of course, is the Farmer Review. And Mark Farmer, in this review, he pulls out about the separate training initiatives and how these are not conducive to a single joined-up strategy, because we do need to drive this collective transformational change. And we need to move out of this whole siloed approach of we're okay, we're doing training in our trade or in our profession or in our part of the industry. We have to start looking at this as a holistic piece, as looking at across the whole of the built environment. What are the challenges? What are the issues? But crucially, what can we do with what already exists to make things better and make significant improvements? Now, do we really know where we're coming from? The data isn't great. There's lots of data that is out there, but a lot of it is actually quite out of date and it's all slightly vague. So we seem to know that the number of women working in the trades in construction occupations is really low, under 2%. And overall, there are statistics from 11% to 15% of women working in the industry. But it's also really clear, and this is quite painful, at the current rate, it will take almost 200 years to achieve gender equality. And this is in the construction industry. This isn't looking at the whole of the built environment, where there are big differences, say, between real estate and working on site and in one of the trades. Other areas of data, there is some data around people from ethnic minorities, looking at between 4 to 13%. Again, the data varies. One very clear statistic came from the Chartered Institute of Building. 3.4% of construction managers are from ethnic minorities. But if we really want to make these changes, we need to understand the data. And we need to look more broadly than just at gender or at race and ethnic identity. So it's also understanding about those coming into our sector and those working in the sector in terms of those wider protected characteristics. For example, religion, disability, which must include nowadays that broader definition of neurodiversity. So the data is not great. Some of the data that we pulled out at Building People, and this is back in 2018, is just a little bit broader. So if we look at the one saying 12%, this figure has changed slightly. But the key thing here is that there's a very low number of people aged between 16 and 24 that are working in the industry. And it's not attractive. 7% shows that 7% of 16 to 18-year-olds see construction as their first career choice. That's pretty low. It's not an attractive industry to come into. Now, parts of it are, and parts of the stories that we tell are really, really powerful. And I think the traction we're getting is more significant within the professions, within that property real estate side of things, maybe more so than within construction. But we also have an issue about an ageing workforce. 22% of the current workforce over 50, 15% in their 60s. So again, this is data from 2017, 2018, before the joys of Brexit. What we do know is we have a problem. Not enough people, but people are leaving. But we do know that those organisations that focus on diversity gain success in new markets. So that final figure, 70%, is just really evidencing that there are drivers and there are successes when we look at not just skills, not just people, but people from diverse, underrepresented backgrounds. So as I said, we're great at creating solutions. I've been in the sector now for over 20 years, and I've lost count of the number of times that there have been roundtables and let's create a task force. We've got a report, we've got a nice launch, and then there's activity. And it's fantastic. And I am 100% behind innovation and creating new solutions and continuing to drive change forwards. But we can't do it if we're only focusing on one region, one trade, one profession, or one part of the industry. We need to look at this in long-term solutions. So just as an example, some research we did at Building People has found over 50 organisations that work with women in the built environment. And you can see just the list of some of them here. Now, each of these organisations does fantastic work, and many of them collaborate, many of them work together. But there are also organisations that focus on other underrepresented groups. So those working, say, with people from LGBTQ plus backgrounds. We're looking also refugees, maybe ex-military, ex-offenders, young people, and also people from ethnic minorities, and as I say, women. There's a whole broad range of individuals from diverse underrepresented groups. We're brilliant at creating groups to drive up that interest and that desire to join the industry. But what about if we were to join it all together and just make it clearer, make it easier to find what already exists? This slide just shows the current landscape. And the aim of it really is to show on the left, lots of people interested in the industry. Now, arguably, yes, there is an issue with the image of the industry, but there is sufficient interest in people wanting to come in. And it's much easier if your dad's working there. Occasionally might be your mum or a cousin, an aunt, but generally it's the male that you know, and then you get that route in. So on the left, lots of people looking for lots of opportunities. And in that middle section, what we can see are all these organisations that do fantastic work connecting those people to opportunities. And I've just listed out a few of those core target audiences from those organisations. Now, on the right, in the rather overexcited red areas, these are the drivers. So organisations that want to increase the diversity in the workforce are doing this because they know it's right, because they really believe in it, because they're being told to, because they recognise it delivers value, or because maybe there's an obligation written into the local planning requirements. So just some of these are here. We look at ESG, environmental, social, governance. So the latest buzzwords, which is overlapping with social value, social impact, has taken over from CSR, corporate social responsibility. So this is this recognition that value isn't just about economics. Value is also about what the business does or doesn't do to the environment, the same to society, the same to bringing the whole piece together and ensuring it's working safely and it's working well. Maybe some businesses are trying to increase diversity because they know it'll win them more work. The client might be driving it. It might be the acronym EDI, so equity, diversity, inclusion. It might be the CIL, Community Infrastructure Levy. It might be a lot we have in England, the Section 106 part of planning obligations. Now, whatever the driver, those employers on the right-hand side are saying, we want to do this. So we have vacancies. We have vacancies, work experience, apprenticeship jobs. We have knowledge we want to share. We're running events. We're delivering training. My challenge, and I do wonder sometimes quite why I've taken this on, is to connect those employers that are looking for individuals from diverse backgrounds with those organisations that exist to do just that. So rather than, as you'll see, this mishmash of arrows pointing in different areas and many conversations, if we could just enable those conversations and those connections to be significantly clearer, we can simplify the user experience. We can make it easier for employers to engage with people from diverse backgrounds. And we can make it easier for people to come into and to succeed in our sector. Yes, it's ambitious. Yes, it's not easy. But yes, it will make a huge, huge difference. So the summary of the context I've just talked through is that we need to build. We haven't got enough people. So there's a shortage of skilled, competent, experienced workers. And the workforce we have lacks diversity. Lots of activities taking place, there's lots of passion and expertise, a huge amount of desire for change, but this fragmented landscape doesn't help the individual find the opportunities. It doesn't help the employer engage with people from diverse, underrepresented audiences. There's a lot of words you're going to hear in repetition here, and the key one here is diversity. So are you part of the solution? Can you be part of the change that we are driving? What we've done, Building People, we're a social enterprise. We've been going since 2018. I'm very clear that what we've created is minimum viable product. So we're not saying that this is the bells and whistles, shiny version, but it's a conversation to get people engaged, to get people to come together around the problem. We've created a platform and a network which brings together, it aggregates and integrates with what is already happening, all that amazing activity taking place across the sector. And the idea is to enable people to find the knowledge, vacancies, events, careers, opportunities they're looking for, and employers to engage with a more diverse range of talent. We've got lots of traffic, lots of organisations involved. We've created the platform, created the network. And as I said before, the real focus here is on increasing diversity. These are some of the organisations involved. So this is the organisations that work directly with diverse groups. So those that might work with young people, maybe they're working with ex-military people, maybe those from ethnic minorities, a wide variety of organisations. And we are now at 55 organisations that form part of the network. And on the other side, this is our supporters list. So you can see we got going through seed funding for our founding partners. We have, I think we're now about 30 organisations that are backing Building People. And the idea here is that we provide benefits to these organisations. And those benefits are really about connectivity with those that can help them increase diversity in their workforce. So the simple model, I do like simple, nice straight lines, looks a bit like this. On the demand side, we do have one module that's missing. We are seeking the funding to create the final module, which is focused on education and learning. But think of this as a place to share. So you can share the activities you're running. If your organisation has an open day, a networking event for women, a podcast or webinar you're running, share it. Let us help drive traffic to you. The same if you're recruiting. We are not seeking to do recruitment, to do the filtering. We're not seeking to sell tickets for events. We are simply aggregating. So we want to drive traffic to your website, help people find your vacancies, whether it's a trustee vacancy, work experience, whether it's an internship or a job. And if you've created resources, so you might have a YouTube clip that we can link to, maybe a PDF explaining what's so brilliant about the professions or trades that you work with. Equally, you might have recordings of podcasts or webinars. Share them with us. Let us drive traffic to you. Because what we do is we sit in between supply and demand. And then on the right-hand side, what you can see is our supply. In fact, really, it's more than supply, but these are the organisations that I just listed previously with the 8 buckets, for want of a more technical term, that they sit within. So the idea is you might post an opportunity on one of the modules on the left. We connect that opportunity to those individuals on the right through the organisations that already have that amazing reach into those diverse audiences. So it's about enabling organisations to more easily engage and connect with people from underrepresented and diverse backgrounds. That's the point, that's the focus of Building People, just sitting between supply and demand, aggregating, but driving everything towards diversity. And a very simple model we have is our network can put any icon from our site. So it could be the resources, the one you're looking at now, work opportunities, activities and events. And therefore somebody browsing their site can also then find more accessible, more aggregated material. So we're giving those small initiatives added value. We're giving them a jobs listing on their website. And the bigger ones, we're giving them a wider perspective. So that's the building people model. It's pretty simple. I won't pretend it's straightforward or easy. We've been doing this for a while, but we certainly have a significant amount of traction. The ambition is big because we want to aggregate all of this amazing knowledge, resources, opportunities, vacancies, and we want to connect them to even more than the 55 organisations in our network. But one day at a time, and certainly where we are today is significantly more further ahead than even where we were just last year. So the summary about building people, we do use the language of one-stop shop, but it's about aggregating. It's about bringing careers opportunities together and connecting them to diverse audiences. Enabling people to easily find the knowledge, vacancies, events and careers opportunities that already exist. And then thus helping employers in turn to engage with a more diverse range of talent. Our aim, what we're doing is we're just making it easier. We're simplifying the user journey and enabling that equality of opportunity across a fragmented careers landscape. It sounds a bit of a mouthful, but rather than becoming a surveyor because your dad's a surveyor and he's got your work experience, you're hearing about the surveying opportunities through the organisations that are particularly targeting maybe you as a young Black woman or as somebody with a disability. So it's that equality of opportunity is absolutely vital. We're also helping all those careers providers to come together. Now, this is part of phase 2, but there's a real ambition about coordinating some consistent, collective and coordinated careers action and just bringing that together. So we're breaking down the silos, breaking down the fragmentation, making it easier for organisations to come together. And our big commitment here is we will collaborate. So we're not seeking to duplicate effort, to tread on toes, to compete. We are an agnostic organisation. We are holistic. We are across the built environment on a not-for-profit basis. The whole focus is to increase diversity. Now, just finishing off, we're more than a platform. We're more than a network. We like to take on lots of excitements. So we're partnering with Barber ABI to, ideally, we want to get some really powerful data about the workforce composition, the diversity composition of the sector. So we're doing this piece of work to begin with a state of the nation. This is where we are now, to then seek to grow that knowledge and really do something powerful with it. If you have any data, any knowledge, please send it my way. We're also working with the Construction Leadership Council, looking at a diversity plan for built environment and construction, so not just for the construction side of things. And this diversity plan is crucial. It's written into the skills plan from the Construction Leadership Council, and our role is to get the first steps towards really developing the plan. And we're also supporting the British Standards Institute, the BSI, to develop its equality, diversity and inclusion standard. So making sure that voices from our sector are heard and are part of that. We want to move what you'll see on our website from a minimum viable product to that shiny new version. And our goal is to be that leading platform, enabling diverse people and organisations to thrive in the built environment, that go-to source for equity, diversity, and inclusion. So we want to focus next on employers. How can we help employers to become more inclusive, to understand language to use, to look at the retention of their people, to download a modern slavery template, to know what to do to support trans colleagues. This is where we are seeking to go, that go-to place to support employers and individuals. We can't do it on our own. So obviously I will end with a plea to get involved. This requires engagement from everybody. I don't think there's really any excuse, any reason not to say, yes, our sector needs to be more diverse. Yes, we're doing great things. Yes, we can do more things together. And yes, we want to be part of the collaboration to make that happen. So we use the language join in. It's quite straightforward. You can join in, you can email me, hop on the website, buildingpeople.org.uk, opportunities there to sign up, to add details, register your organisation, start sharing today all that you're doing. We'd love you to join in. So I'm going to end with a big thank you. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your interest. And I'm very much looking forward to taking questions and having some discussion. Thank you.